Assalamu alaikum. Hope you all are doing well. In this lecture, we will discuss about the microorganisms and various types of pathogens. What are microorganisms? Microorganisms are very tiny living things that can only be seen with some sort of microscope. We cannot see them through our naked eye. Diseases can result when microorganisms get into the body. So, microorganisms that cause diseases are called pathogens. There are several different types of pathogens which cause different types of diseases. These include bacteria, viruses, parasites, and fungi. First of all, we will discuss about bacteria. Bacteria are very small living cells. They have various shapes and sizes. They are sphere shaped, rod shaped, and spiral shaped. They reproduce by dividing into two by asexual reproduction, in which there is no involvement of gametes. They reproduce very quickly, about once every 20 minutes, and bacteria make you feel ill in two ways. They damage the living tissues and they produce toxins. Examples of diseases caused by bacteria include strep throat, which is a bacterial infection caused by streptococcus that can make your throat feel sore and scratchy. And another disease is tuberculosis, which is a serious illness that mainly affects the lungs and is caused by a bacteria known as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Viruses, which are the type of pathogens. Viruses are much simpler and 100 times smaller than bacteria, so they cannot be seen under an ordinary microscope. Viruses have unique characteristics. They are at the borderline of living and non-living. All living organisms are made up of cells, but viruses are not made up of cells. So this is the non-living characteristic of viruses. But they reproduce themselves, which is the characteristic of living, because they have DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, which is a type of nucleic acid inside the nucleus. They can only reproduce inside living cells. Viruses make you ill by damaging living tissues. If you breathe viruses in, they get into the cells in your nose and throat, where they quickly reproduce. Examples of diseases caused by viruses include influenza, which is commonly called the flu. It is caused by an influenza virus. It causes symptoms like head and body aches, fever, runny nose. And another disease is common cold, which is the minor infection of the nose and throat caused by more than 200 different viruses. Rhinovirus is the most common cause. Parasites. Parasites that live off other living things called their host. They take their food from their host. Some are carried by insect. For example, Plasmodium is the parasite which is carried by mosquito and cause malaria in human. And others such as tapeworm, which is a parasite that lives in the human intestines by absorbing digested food, can be taken into the contaminated food or drink. Examples of diseases caused by parasites include tapeworm infection. Symptoms of tapeworm infection can include nausea, weakness, and diarrhea. Another disease caused by parasites are African sleeping sickness. It is caused by a parasite, trypanosoma, transmitted by the fly. Its symptoms are high fever, fatigue, headache, muscle ache. Fungi are also the types of pathogens. These are microorganisms such as yeast and molds. Yeast are single-celled fungi and molds are the fungus that grow on the damp places. They produce spores which can be carried into the body either in the air you breathe in or in the food you eat. Examples of diseases caused by fungi include aspergillosis, which is the infection of respiratory system caused by mold, and another disease is pneumocystis pneumonia, which is a fungal infection in one or both lungs. It is common in people who have a weak immune system.